let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about, let's see. There's many things of God that we can talk about. Let's talk about how this world is waxing worse and worse. There is no more praying in the schools. There's no more talking to people about God. There's no more I'm going to go to Sunday school, or I'm going to go to church this Wednesday or next Sunday, or every Sunday and every Wednesday. There's no more Bible study. There's no more anything really that relates to God. Most of the stuff you see are things of the things of the world, you know. And I mean, hey, if you are a believer of God, and if you are truly serving Him, you shouldn't be worried about the things that's going on in the world. You shouldn't be worried about what's going on out here, or what's happening around you, or how many things are letting loose around you in the name of Jesus. Because if you keep God first, He will protect you and He will be there for you in the name of Jesus. Because through that situation and through that problem and through those issues that you see in the world that are not affecting you but that are affecting the world, but they're not coming against you, you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't be worried about that, or about how many how many people there are in the world that are homosexuals, or that are, you know, whatever you want to call them. But me personally, I don't condone it. It's not of God. God made man and woman, not man and man, woman and woman. You know, He made man and woman. But that's what the world is coming to. I mean, there are very few Christians in this world who actually serve God. There are very few. As God said in His Word, many are called but few are chosen. That's just like 1 billion people in the world. It's probably more than that. I don't know if I'm correct or not. But this is just an example. 1 billion people in the world. God calls those 1 billion people, right? Right? There's 1 billion people in the world. That's 1 billion people, but God chose 10 of those, 10 out of 1 billion people. God chose 10 people out of 1 billion people. Now what does that tell you? That, yeah, we, America, United States, need to get back on track, because God is angry. God is not playing. You know, the world is getting worse, and this weather is getting ready to get bad too. It's going to get worse than this, you know. So like I said, man, we got to get back on track. We got to start putting God first, you know. Not me, I'm doing my part, but I want you to also do yours and start putting God first. Start praying in the schools. Start praying on the job. Start going to Bible study Wednesdays, Sundays, to church. Start really just interacting back with the community. Because there's no point of being a pastor if you're not interacting with the community, going out to help people, going out to help the homeless, going out to bless them with food, clothing, homing. Come on now. There's no point of being a pastor if you're not doing that. And so therefore, my message today is, let's make a change in the world today. Let's make a change for the better. It's the little things that change and the little things that go far, not the big changes, not the big churches, not the big land, not the nice suits, not all the big congregation. It's not that they go far. It's the little things. It's the blessing. It's the blessing and the helping out and the interacting with the community and the being there for the homeless and helping the homeless in the name of Jesus. It's not the big things. It's not, let me just preach for the money. No, it's not that. It's, I'm going to help and I'm going to serve God no matter of how much He blesses me with as far as my income. Because this world, man, like I said, it's bad. It's man, it's so, people stop putting God in everything they do. People stopped putting God in everything they do. They started just waking up in the morning, not even praising God, not even thanking Him for waking up, not even thanking Him for letting you see that day before you wake up and before you go to sleep. Not even thanking God, not even giving Him the praise, not even giving Him honor, not even giving Him glory, not giving Him anything, not even giving Him the time that He needs so that He can be able to do a work in you and talk to you and give you instruction and guidance and tell you what to do. Not even doing any of those things. People have stopped it all. People have stopped serving the Lord and start going after desires that are not of God. Start going after the drugs, the homosexualism, the homosexuality, the drugs, the alcohol, the pornography, the clubbing, the adultery. They start going after all these ungodly acts that are not of God, you know? And so, you know, I feel like we should, you know, as a community of Christians that are very few, we should all come together and say, hey, we need to make a change, because no one is doing anything. Someone needs to step up to the plate. Someone needs to make a difference in the world, because at the end of the day, man, there's going to be as much problems in the world as there were 24 hours ago. So, yeah. At the end of the day, it gets worse by the day, by the minute, by the hour. By the minute, by the hour, by the second, someone dies, someone gets shot, someone is robbed, someone is killed, someone is in prison, someone is, you know, clubbing, someone is committing these adulterous acts, someone is, you know, doing things that are not of God. You know, and so I just wanted to come on here and talk and just really just talk, man, about, you know, just talk, you know. And I mean, like I would say, I would tell people, like, hey, one day, even though I know you're not doing good at this moment, but one day, God will bring you in. And if you need anything, I don't mean anything as in like money or something. I mean instruction with me allowing God to use me to help you. And so I would tell people, if you need anything, if you haven't accepted God as your Lord and Savior, and you are ready to, just let me know. Because God don't force himself on people. Because me, I'm trying to get as much people, young people, that's my age, that's 18, 19, 20, 17, whatever age, saved, because the devil is taking out young people, taking them out by bullets, taking them out by drugs, taking them out by all ungodly acts. You have little kids thinking that it's cool to date the same sex that they are. Like, no. That's how you know that this world is deteriorating. It's deteriorating, and it's not, and I feel like that the best way to build it back up is first put prayer in the schools. Second, put prayer back in your conversation. Put God back in your life. Put God back in your marriage, relationship, back in your situation. Put God back in your workplace. Put God back in everything you do. Put God back in the church. Yes, it could be, it's a church. Yes, when you walk in, does it feel sanctified? Does it feel holy? Because a church is supposed to be holy. A church is supposed to be sanctified. A church is not supposed to have all and any and every type of spirit that walks around that is not of God. Because when you have so many spirits in one church that is not of God, the church cannot function, because the pastor is not doing anything. He is not praying over his flock. He is not praying over the church. He is not doing anything productive that will keep those evil spirits out of that church, that will keep all those spirits out of that church. He is not doing anything productive to keep that church sanctified and to keep it holy. Because when you walk in a church, most people, you used to feel holy. You used to, not you feel holy, but you could feel the cleanness. You could feel the holiness. You can feel the sanctification. When you go into these churches now, there's no sanctification. There's no holiness. It's dirty. The water's contaminated. The atmosphere, the air is contaminated. You know why that is? That is because all the spirits that are around there, that are in the atmosphere. And it's crazy, man. And another thing too is that I feel like in order to really actually serve God and be a servant of God and be a vessel of the Lord, you have to receive any and everyone. That don't mean homosexuals. I didn't say that. That means you have to receive the homeless people. Yes, the homeless people. You have to receive them. You have to receive the blind, the sick, the deaf, the dumb. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Because when you receive those people, God looks at them. Now let's say, I don't mean receive them as in, oh, I'm going to make an announcement and I'm going to make this public. Because when you do stuff public, you're doing it in the eyes of man, not the eyes of God. You know? And I feel like that if you really want to get blessed, all the pastors who are talking about, I want God to really bless me. If you really want to get blessed, do what God tell you to do. And accept the homeless, the sick, the cancer patients, the diabetic. Accept the blind, the deaf, and the dumb in the name of Jesus. Don't accept what you are not supposed to accept. Because you pastors now are accepting in your churches the homosexuals, which are not supposed to be even in your church. Come on now. You're not supposed to accept them. It tells you that in the Bible, that these are unacceptable people. These people, this category is unacceptable. Now everything and everybody else is acceptable, but this category. You know? And yeah, everything else is acceptable. The homeless, the sick, the cancer patients, everything else that goes from the homeless all the way to the deaf and dumb, all the way to those people on their sick beds. Those are acceptable. The only one that's not acceptable, that no pastor and no one seems to accept, that they should not accept, is the homosexuals. That is one that is unacceptable. How can you mess up one thing that is not acceptable and accept it when it's not acceptable? And you want to say, I want God to bless me. I want this. I want that. I want God to do this. I want God to bless me with this. I want God to help me with that. How can you say that when you are accepting someone and something that is unacceptable? Because you are mainly going against God. You're going against Him. You're going against the grain. You're going against the Lord. You know, you're going against His word. You're defeating the purpose of even preaching about homosexuality is not allowed. Homosexuality is not acceptable. You're defeating the purpose because you are accepting homosexuals in your churches. You are not supposed to, but you are. You are allowing them to come in your churches, have weddings in your churches, have events in your churches. Come on now. It's not acceptable. That is unacceptable. It's not acceptable. Turn it around, flip it around, and say, hey, it's no longer acceptable. But you can't do that now because you already opened the door to them, so now it's going to be hard to get them out. It's going to be hard to get all those spirits out of there. Because once you open the door to something, it's going to be hard to get it out of there. Unless you really pray. You know, unless you really pray, it's going to be hard to get it out of there. Because turn it around and say, this is not acceptable. Because when you say this is not acceptable, when you start out like that, you won't have that issue. But if you start accepting it, start preaching in the pulpit saying, hey, this is acceptable, you know, we accept any and everyone, homosexuals, gays, lesbians, transgender, homeless people, and all this and all that, right? You say you accept those 4 categories. But when the homeless go in your church, you look at them funny, look at them with an attitude, look at them like, oh my God, what are they doing here? You know, look at them like, ew, disgusting. But in the pulpit you say, we accept any and everyone, correct? Okay, not everyone has money, not everyone is wealthy. Not everyone, I'm not saying not everyone is homeless. Not everyone is, you know, is the glitz and the glory, you know. But you go in the pulpit and say that. I say watch what you say, because at the end of the day, accepting the homeless is the best thing ever. You know why? Because those are the lowest people, and you are bringing them back up. You are giving them hope. Giving them hope. Teaching them about God. They are surrendering their life to Him. He's using them as a vessel. He's blessing them. Blessed them with the home. They're no longer homeless. Because you are bringing them back up, because you have done something good in the eyes of the Lord that needed to be done. Because like Jesus said, when I was homeless, you didn't feed me. When I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I had no clothes, you didn't clothe me. In the name of Jesus. And so, therefore, homelessness, accepting the homeless into the doors of your church is the best thing ever. Helping them out, ministering to them, praying for them is the best thing ever. Going outside of your church, outside of your comfort zone, and praying for the homeless, and helping the homeless, and ministering to them, and blessing them, and working with them, and just walking with them in the Lord is the best thing ever, because you are raising them up. You are raising them back up, giving them hope to where they can go and be vessels of God and be blessed and have a home and no longer be homeless and return to the life as they were, but more wealthier and with God on their side this time. But that's not happening because no one is accepting them. No one is accepting the homeless. You say you accept any and everyone, right? Now the thing that you shouldn't accept, you are accepting. You should accept the homeless, and you should not accept the homosexuals. You are accepting the homosexuals, and you are not accepting the homeless. Let's flip that around. You should accept the homeless and not accept the homosexuals. There you go. That's how you do that. And so therefore, with that message, I'm saying, God bless, have a great afternoon, or a great day, or whatever it is, in your country or in your state. In the name of Jesus, God bless you, and have a great day.